cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know.
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Very last minute notice. What is up? Yeah, it's a surprise live. Hello, everybody. It's not that surprise. So I was in the strategic eyes or true crime strategic chat, and I asked everyone if they want me to go live. I never, ever, I never have enough to say on this case, and I wasn't finished on Friday when my mom came over. So I'm back. It's a Sunday, and hopefully I can get people start to trickling in, understanding that I am on here to talk about Stephan Sterns, or to talk about the emails. And the emails are going to segue into my theory on Madeline Soto, along with the parents' email, Stephan Sterns' parents' email. So hit that like button, everybody. We can get the algorithm. If you guys don't catch me live, hello, replay crew. I'm sure that you will want to watch this because I always have something important to say. And the information that I bring, it's always pretty close to right when it happens. I try, unless I'm doing a serial killer case or a cold case, whatever. So hello, everybody, on a Sunday. Liv was the first one in here, so I'm going to shout out to Liv, saying everybody leave a like, hit that like button. Surprise live. What's up, Adam? I did put it up real quick. So there was a Manic Mama. There was a little bit of a what's up, David BMX. Yeah, you're not in the green anymore. What's up, SoCal Brat? Minnesota girl, Deborah Rockhill, Trishy, Avis, Andrea. Wolfpack made it in here. Wolfpack was in the house for Mr. Strategic and saw that I was going to go live. Always have things to say. Now, I got a huge shout out from Mr. Strategic. So what I'm going to do today is I'm only going to play a portion of the documents with him, but right now I'm going to start out with something that you haven't seen, and we still have the locks up. So first, even though it doesn't say that I'm doing this, and hello, Sue, you saw me and I said I'd come on, and I am here. I didn't finish what I had to say on Friday. What's up, Jacqueline and Tunez? If you don't have your membership, get your membership. Bambi and Jacqueline. Friends, everybody's lit up here. Clark, what's up? I never, ever finish with this case. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring this up because, number one, I want to show my friend Jenny. We know Jenny Esquivel. She's always she's been on our channel quite a bit, and she helps me with lots of, we'll say, inspiration here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to remember Maddie, and I say that in the beginning. If you look at my description, I say remembering Maddie. I also want you to know that if you didn't know, her memorial is being removed, but there's still locks there. What is up, M. Shaw? Hi, Jay. Hi, all. Jamie Ferrero, you lost your green membership. Oh, no. Adam, too. Agro Vixen, hello from the Strategic Show. Hello. Well, guess what? From the Strategic Show, we got a lot of inside information on the Madeline Soto case, and we put some locks of love for Maddie, and those locks are still there. So locks are still on the fence. Luckily, we had inspiration from Jenny. What's up, Debbie Jane? Caught my first live. Inspiration, I Spy Crime. Hello on a Sunday. Some people are on a Monday if you're in another country. Karen Bess. Hi, Chaz. Hi, Mod. Justice for Maddie. All right, so we left some locks of love for Maddie, which luckily we got the inspiration, we'll call it, from Jenny Esquivel, who you're going to see now on this Channel 6 News. And it says, guilty of crime, crime crew, and Jay Scott, we left her some love. Let's watch this as we talk about the memorial and how it's going to be relocated and what's there now.
The life of a 13-year-old girl who was murdered has been removed. Detectives believe Maddie Soto was killed by her mother's boyfriend.
While he was in jail awaiting trial, the community has been using that place to put remains of her where her remains were found as a place to come together. But the display that's grown there over the last few months is gone. News 6's Catherine Silver is looking into why.
Memories for a little girl that's gone. For months, this place where 13-year-old Maddie Soto was found dead has been where the community has come to honor her life. But today, this is what you'll find on.
All right, so that's what you're going to find there. That's what I wanted to show you. Kate Takes. The lovely Kate Takes went out there for guilty of crime. All of you that are subscribed here are in the crime crew. And me, the host, Jay Scott, we left love for Maddie. We've been covering her case, and we try to do it as respectfully as possible. Alexandra, if you want a membership, one of the mods will drop you a link. Get your membership. I'm going to do a members only next week. I think I'm going to do members only on Tuesday because I want to honor you all, and before I take off for my birthday on Thursday. So members only, get your membership now. All right, so we got a lock up there, and that's pretty much what's left except for the plaque. Let's watch this, and I'll pause it on our lovely Jenny that inspires us so much.
On Hickory Road,
the
memorial for Maddie is gone, except for a few locks near a fence post, a picture and plaque.
You were here this week, and you started collecting all the items.
It was pretty sad. But,
we spoke to Jenny Esquivel, an advocate for Maddie.
Some of these items were brought by Maddie's friends, like the hair scrunchies, and they would tell us that Maddie would lose them and then take their friends' scrunchies. Yeah. Every single item it told the story, and we got to know Maddie through them.
More than 500 items have been removed, but why? We asked the county for clarity. They tell us they facilitated with the property owner and the family to work out.
So you saw the plaque. I showed you all the plaque when we were here. I know the show's not about this today. We are going to get into Stephan Sterns. We're going to get into the emails. What's up, Clue Season? Jamie, Sadie's mama, Chumba. Thursday's my birthday. Chumba, does that make you a Leo then? Because Leo starts at July 23rd. I hope you're in the Leo crew. Yeah, get your membership access only to information that I'm going to do next year. Bottom tier membership. Yes, please upgrade for me. It'll be for my birthday. Thank you. My birthday's almost over, and then I don't have to say that anymore. It's next Thursday. I appreciate you. So they could have waited a little longer, but we're going to hear about now why they didn't, because of the property owners. Think about Brian Koberger and that slaughterhouse that with the 4 beautiful children. That still breaks my heart. They tore the house down, y'all. They tore the house down, and that's bad. Leo in the house. Yes, Chumba. Yes, Leo. Jamie, that's so sweet. All right, so we've got some locks up there. We love how Jenny, every item has significance, and it's locked up in a safe place right now. We got more to talk about. I just wanted to honor Maddie before we started and remember why we're here.
Out the removal. Osceola County does own the land close to the road where cars speeding by can be a safety concern. But the piece that was home to the memorial is privately owned.
Maddie's friends come at a continuum. I believe that their grieving process involves them visiting the memorial.
This site has always been more than just a memorial.
Yes, I believe that Maddie's story is definitely it upholds a lot of value because Maddie is presently carrying a lot of children under her wings. We can never forget about these children. We owe them this much.
There is this sign that promises the memorial will be relocated. Where exactly? That discussion is ongoing. In St. Cloud, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
All right. Well, thank you, Catherine and News 6 for doing that and having Jenny on there. We did not catch that. Hold on. We didn't catch that. And now we did. But today we're on here because I wanted to also bring on, there's a couple of things I wanted to bring on last week. I didn't get to this portion, and it's a law and crime version of the emails, but it also has an expert with theories on the emails from the parents, which we're going to segue into the parents. Hello, Miss Mary, Canada. Looks like Chumba, 180 watching. Please hit the like. Thank you. There's 190 now. Just hit that like button. Let's get us in the algorithm. Let's get the subscribers up. I should be at 20,000 before you know it, and then 50, and we know how that goes. So, okay, so let me pull this up so you have these ugly potatoes to look at. We never ever victim blame, and these are not victims. Neither one of these people, in my opinion, are victims. Now we know Stephan Sterns has been arrested and charged with the 60 assault charges, CSA, and Jenn Soto is still out there flying around. And it's very interesting because there's so many different takes on this. Most people say hashtag arrest Jenn Soto, but you got those few that just don't buy into it. And I don't really know what there is to buy into when you tell a person that you're letting your child sleep with this man, and you got all the tripod set up and a gun in the room and slow low. Now we know even more information, as well as just a man that wasn't really her boyfriend at all. She called him her partner. At one time, they thought it was her husband. They thought it was the stepdad. Very confusing for news media, very confusing for cops. When it doesn't make sense, it's a lie. Remember that. Remember those two things. When it doesn't make sense, it's a lie. Okay. And yeah, the last video was very hard, passionate, and respectful. Thank you so much. What's up, beautiful people? Crime to remember. Hello, everybody. Thank you for popping on. Very last minute for me. I still had this burning passion to continue going over this information. My mom showed up. I had a great time on Friday. Yesterday, I took the day off. Thank you, Monica. So let's talk about this because we're going to theorize on something that I said with an actual expert about the emails, and then we're getting into the parents. Now, the documentation for the parents' divorce is right on Plunder, it's where I got the information for the DNA analysis. She'll put the documents up there, and you can get them off of her Patreon. But today, I wanted to, show love for Strategic, so we're going to use a small portion of his and shout him out because he shouts me out. Let's listen to this together. And then we've got that. And then I've got something else special for you that just came out this morning.
Friends in the area. She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
New details are emerging into the investigation into the man accused of murdering Maddie Soto, coming to light in documents released by prosecutors. Plus, we're getting a look at Stephan Sterns' life behind bars through messages he sent to his family and how his mom says he's taking the fall for other people. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Stephan Sterns has been in jail since late February, charged with sex crimes related to Maddie Soto, the daughter of his longtime girlfriend, Jenn Soto. Weeks later, after further investigation, a grand jury in Osceola County, Florida, indicted Sterns for first-degree murder in Maddie's death. Now, prosecutors have released messages that Sterns sent to family members from a tablet in jail. And those messages are revealing, especially the ones that...
So if you look at everybody's perspective on it, it's really weird because some people have that perspective. Oh, the parents were always trying to get him out of trouble. So they were trying to get him out of trouble. I'm sure that it was just them saying that, right? You got that perspective. And then you got, at the end of this episode, you're going to see a different perspective where a brand new video that came out an hour ago of analyzing the video. We know Stephan Sterns is already innocent until proven guilty, but we know he's been charged. We don't know about Jenn Soto, but then we hear a different perspective on it from an actual expert. So to me, I say arrest Jenn Soto. I say all of this, the narrative that I'm telling is the narrative that I truly believe. And I wake up in the morning and I wake up in the middle of the night wondering when Jenn Soto is going to get arrested. So let's listen to this.
He sent to his mom. I'll have more on that in a bit. Maddie's body was found in between bamboo trees on a property on Hickory Tree Road. A witness had called the sheriff's office saying that he saw a man changing a flat tire in that area the day that Maddie was reported missing. The reason the man called The vehicle with the flat tire matched the description of Sterns' silver Lincoln that he had seen on the news. Maddie's body was found on Friday, March 1st, on the property near where Sterns was changing that tire. Sterns acknowledged getting a flat tire in an interview with detectives. Maddie's mom and Stephan Sterns reported her missing the evening of Monday, February 26th.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. Came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either. So she never made it.
Sterns and Jenn Soto talked about what Maddie was wearing when they claimed to have last seen her.
Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now. What was she last seen wearing?
Now, I'm on here on a Sunday today, and a lot of people probably don't even know my channel. You might have come new from Mr. Strategic, True Crimes channel, or anybody else. Jennifer Soto has never, ever done anything. She didn't go to her daughter's birthday party. She didn't go to her daughter's funeral. She didn't go to her daughter's vigil, and she didn't go to her daughter's memorial. And she sure as heck didn't thank the police ever for helping find her daughter's body. I think Jennifer Soto, the last thing she wanted was for them to find the body so quickly. So if you're new to my channel, hit that like button, go back, check out my playlist. I have several playlists, and I try to mark them so you can see the different things that are going on. There's no sense of urgency or despair. It's for herself, and we're going to get into that after. Thank you for becoming a new member, Yashira Santiago. Yeah, I've heavily covered this case.
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
Oh, shoot. Thank you, Adam.
Blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts?
Yeah.
Black shorts? Okay.
Then later that night, Sterns went with deputies to the area where he claimed to have dropped her off.
Is it here?
It was along this stretch. I can't remember the exact spot, but it was around where these communities were. Oh, thank you. So it's like around where these communities were.
Okay.
And it's just like in this stretch. Like we could see the overpass down there.
Now, this is where Stephan Sterns was trying to show the police where Maddie was. Now, by this time, they were already side-eyeing him and Jennifer Soto, so they weren't really paying attention to what he was saying so much. But this is shortly before he gets arrested. Body cam, by the way.
Just on the other side of the overpass. So somewhere around here. So yeah, somewhere, maybe not this one, but the next one, but it's right in this stretch. We just came down and we drove about halfway down. She was like, that's good right here.
Okay.
On the second floor.
The prosecutor and Kissimmee police say Sterns' story about dropping Maddie off for school that morning was a lie, and they say they tracked his car using license plate readers to prove it. New documents show the route that police say Sterns took that morning. Curiously, early the next morning on February 27th, police say a white Nissan took the same route from Maddie's apartment complex. Quote, at 3:16 and 15 hours, the white Nissan exits the complex utilizing the main gate.
I also want to make a note of this, folks, that she absolutely stated that Nissan was a work vehicle and she didn't want to use it often. And she kind of, in one of the interviews, and I don't have that in front of me, but one of you pointed it out in the comments, that she very quickly tried to distract the police from that white Nissan, saying that it wasn't, oh, we don't use that. So it's going to be interesting when we find out, and we have to wait together to find out who's driving that Nissan. But she really dismissed that car, and now they're finding out that the white Nissan that belongs to Jenn Soto went back that night in the Nissan, which is hers, to where the body of Maddie was put. I don't like to, I know they're called dump sites, etc., but it's just, rest in peace, Maddie. We love you. So she tried to dismiss that very quickly, and not once did she ever say that she let Stephan Sterns use that car. And we still don't know who was driving it. So I just wanted to point that out to you, that we're still stuck on that until we have a driver that's identified.
The vehicle follows the same path the Lincoln followed the previous day, with the exception of utilizing the front gate of the complex. We can probably deduce that the white Nissan belonged to Maddie's mom, Jenn Soto. The name of the owner is redacted. It would make sense that police would track vehicles related to anyone who last saw Maddie. But what is curious is why the vehicle took the same route in the middle of the night. This raises the question, did Stephan Sterns take the white Nissan that morning or someone else? We don't know. At this point, only Stephan Sterns is charged with Maddie's murder. But in April, when Sterns was indicted, prosecutors said the investigation was far from over.
At this time, the only person being charged is Stephan Sterns. And again, this is not over. There is an ongoing investigation to uncover more evidence, and therefore we can't comment.
Now remember, Sterns also faces more than 60 sex crimes charges related to Maddie. Police have said they found more than 1,700 images of Sterns engaged in sex acts with Maddie on his Google Drive. Sterns has been in jail since late February on those sex crimes charges. And it appears that he got access to a tablet in late May and started messaging family members.
Here we go.
On June 19th, he wrote to a family member saying he'd been moved to a cell where he said, quote, presumably, I'll be.
Oh, I have all the paperwork, Jamie. He not only did he not shower for the first 21 days when he was in jail, but he hasn't showered rarely. He doesn't shower. He doesn't come out of his cell. I've been reading that documentation as well. And even before that, folks, Stephan Sterns was a dirty, nasty, filthy animal that just left food and plates and trash. And he was just a filthy animal. Animals are too good. Just a filthy demon. So yes, I think, and when he put that into the equation, poor Maddie, even more so. What's up, little Irish girl? Hey, y'all. What's going down? Good to see you. New people here. All right. So he was a filthy, nasty demon.
Be here for a while. Sterns continued, it's not exactly the Ritz. It's a small cell and the pod is quite noisy. I didn't think I would miss the medical pod, but now I wish I was back in that big cell where at least I could partially see out of the window and look at the sky and the grass and the trees off in the distance as they swayed in the breeze. That same day, Sterns responded to his mom, who wrote to him about a family dog having puppies. Can't get the commissary to work yet. Don't know why, but see if you can drop another $30 in there in the meantime so I can stock up on plenty of coffee. As for books, remove Christine, It, and Eyes of the Dragon from the list, and just wait for the Howling Trilogy to be available to send that. Many of the messages are mundane, like the one about commissary, coffee, and books. He also writes about the lack of utensils to use for eating in jail and feeling hungry. Then on June 25th, Sterns sent a message where he mentioned his legal situation. He wrote, I am not foolish enough to get my hopes up entirely for anything and can only really hope that my legal team will agree with my ideas and are willing to pursue them as tenaciously as I want them to. I can't explain too much here, but there is still perhaps a slim hope for my situation. At any rate, my odds are not 0% at this time. Sterns added that patience and hope were getting him through, and he said he maintained hope that he might be able to come home once this nasty business had ended. Then 25 minutes later, Sterns' mother wrote a message that was very revealing. She told him to stay positive and to talk with his attorneys. Then she wrote, I keep thinking about how you would not ever rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us, and when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. We all know blank was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not when this is not all your fault. You need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious, and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. I think of the craziness lived through with various partners, not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for name redacted and for you daily. Now this...
And we know they're talking about Jenn now. We're talking about Madeline Soto. Ellis in Wonderland says they are delusional. I really would like to know what you all think in chat if you want to write that. Thank you for all the happy birthdays for next week. Thursday will be my actual birthday. I'll pre-record my Thursday series for everybody and put that out there. But yeah, I don't know what the I don't know what the attraction. I told you what the attraction with Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns were. If you didn't know that, they both were overweight and they got gastric sleeves, and that's what bonded them, was their gastric sleeves. So it wasn't like this intense, like, you know, I want to be with you passionately. They just ended up together. They started out as friends, and then, well, he probably groomed. He realized that she had a daughter that was the age that he wanted, and he started grooming Maddie and started to groom her. So yeah, that is what's going on. And I'll remind you now, Millie. I could do what I can right now. Everybody, if they could donate to the Maddie Cash App. I didn't realize that was still going. It's in my community page. It'd be a great help to help move, help for the advocates to move with the permit cost, etc. Everybody be blessed. It's in my community page. If anyone still has the link, I stopped dropping it because I had no idea what was going on with it. Anyway, let's keep going and tell me what you think. If you think the mom's just making it up and trying to get her son off, or what? In my opinion, if this is true, then Jennifer Soto more than likely committed the crime against her daughter of murder, and Stephan Sterns dumped the body for. She knew what was going on with the essaying, though, and so they both were in it together. And it's going to be a he said, she said. So remember what I'm saying.
This raises a lot of questions. What did Sterns' mother mean by involved in this when she referred to the person whose name is redacted? It is certainly referring to Maddie's mom. I want to tell you about a great app that I've tried. It's called Upside, and it's so good because it will give you,
of course it is,
$3 back on Pete's
of course it is
attorney, and he's been following this case.
Okay, there we go. I love this guy. He tells it how it is.
Closely. So, Tim, your first thoughts on this bombshell message from Stephan Sterns' mother telling him basically that she thinks he's covering for other people, and particularly it sounds like Maddie's mother.
Yeah, it sure looks like that in that email where she says you've covered "don't be a rat" for other people, and then it says so and so, but it clearly looks like the name is blanked out. It looks like a very short first name that Jenn would fit in that spot.
I want to go back to that because it basically says you need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. When you do that, you are hurting us too. She advises him to talk to his attorneys, and she's basically saying that there were other people involved in all of this. Is that just a mom kind of coming up with something possibly in her head to try to give her son a lifeline, or could there be more to this? Because the prosecutors said back when they announced the indictment in April that this was an ongoing investigation. The investigation was not over. However, that's been almost 3 months ago now, and we've heard nothing else. They never said they were going to charge other people, but they've certainly implied that they were looking into other evidence.
Yeah, it would fit the fact.
They certainly did say that. They certainly did say they weren't done with the investigation. They're still looking. And Jamie, I'm going out of town for my birthday, just going to hit up the town and do some RVing. That's what I'm doing. So, hello, Michelle D. What's up? All right. Sterns could have told his mother a lie. He didn't talk to his mother, Dion Pill. That's what I want you to know is he never talked to his mother. He only talked to his father, which was at the hotel room. So my theory, and why I wanted to come and tell you my theory today, was that he was in the hotel, or at the hotel. Jennifer Soto, listen to me. Listen real quick. Let me just explain it one more time. And Sergio, get yourself a membership. Everybody needs a membership. We have some things coming up. Listen. Okay. While the police were searching the condo, which we now believe is the crime scene with what we read read yesterday, Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns got a hotel together, and Daddy Sterns came down and stayed in another room. So the only time that Stephan Sterns ever talked to his dad that wasn't on the phone where they had it tapped, or when he was in jail, was when they were at the hotel. So if Jennifer Soto and Stephan Sterns were concocting a plan and talking about what happened, then guess what? Daddy Sterns knows, and that's what related to the mom. And nothing over the jail calls has ever been said back from Stephan Sterns. Diane Miglior, thank you for the $5 super chat. Jenn Soto belongs under the jail. Please don't drop the ball. Absolutely, I agree. I've seen messages that say, give me 5 minutes with Jenn Soto. That's all I need. Blessed with the membership. Yes, Jared 13, you are. Do you think the DNA was collected from her hands? Could have been her mom's since it wasn't Maddie's. No, it actually says there was no foreign DNA on her body. But that doesn't mean anything other than the person that transported her body had it all over. They also found other things in areas that were not an area that I think Jenn Soto was doing. It was Stephan Sterns. So yeah, we just don't know what's come back from the lab. We saw the things that were sent off, but we don't know what's come back yet. We haven't got those results.
And the most important thing is how small the house was, right? It's very, and she was admitted she let them sleep together in the bed together. Something triggered, something happened, and it's almost uncanny that she wouldn't have seen or heard something.
Yep,
it's clear. You look at the video the police report in, that computer was thrown in the dumpster, or something was thrown in the dumpster before they left the apartment complex. And then he comes back, and then he does a circuitous route, and then he changes his shirt after 2.5 hours. Everything looks very damaging. And the inference there, you go later in that little email, she talks about all her prior boyfriends, what a horrible life that this girl had. It clearly shows she's talking about Jenn being the person who was involved from that email.
And she says, the mom says, this stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. He, of course, is facing the possibility of the death penalty if convicted. I think of the craziness that redacted name lived through with blank various partners, as you mentioned, not a stable life at all for a child. I do pray for blank and for you daily. So she's implying that Maddie may have possibly been abused by other men.
You know, you can read it that way. It clearly shows that the mother believes that Jenn was somehow involved, and it would lead that the authorities are still investigating. The problem you have, though, is if they believe that he committed the murder and he buried the body, they're not going to cut him a deal for that murder because she might have known about it or participated. But what if, on the other hand, she committed the murder and he merely got rid of the body?
Yes.
And he's not talking. Could that be what Jenn is saying? That maybe she told her mother she was going to go to the police, and she told her boyfriend, and then they took care of it, and he emptied the body, and we're all assuming that it was him that did it, right? Because when she gave her statement, while he was in the background lurking, she didn't really come out and say anything that was helpful to the investigation.
Right there,
she claimed she didn't
guys.
see anything, didn't hear anything. She didn't go up to the school looking for her. She waited for a call. Nothing appears what it is, right? And so that's probably why law enforcement is taking their time. They've got him on evidence clearly from his phone, what he was doing. So that's the easy part. Now the hard part is, what do we have? What are the phones? What are all the cameras in the neighborhoods? What does the GPS on the car show? And it shows clear tracking of that vehicle.
Let's talk about that. And I do want to mention, right now.
Right there, folks. I am no lawyer. I am no prosecutor. I have no anything. I study true crime all the time for the last 40 years. And that is what I said last week on one of my episodes. I said the same exact thing, a little bit different wording, but what he said is absolutely true. Well, first, his theory could possibly be, if they do find that car being Jenn's, then it could have been her that did it, and he dumped Maddie for her. Okay. Number one, thank you, Go Shock Hosk, for the $5. You're so kind. Carrie Summers, love your hard work to the true crime community. Thank you. Thank you. That'll help me absolutely for the birthday shenanigans and everything else. Rest in peace, Maddie. Absolutely. And all you all for becoming members again or new member. Thank you. She did nothing to help with the investigation right there. But we want it to be more than that. What he just said was very important. She did nothing to help. Not only did she not do anything to help, she deterred them from what they could have done before because of what she didn't tell them and what the lies that she did tell them. All right, let's keep going because there's a big show today. There's a lot more.
Stephan Sterns is the only person charged in connection to Maddie's murder, charged with her murder, charged with sex crimes involving Maddie. Jenn Soto is not facing any criminal charges. Police have not indicated that they plan to charge her. So we need to be very clear on that. However, people have had some serious questions about how mom was allowing a boyfriend of hers to sleep in the same bed with Maddie. And there have been some questions about whether or not she may have potentially had an inkling about what was going on. But let's go back to the car tracking, because you bring up something very important. License plate readers are all over the place in many jurisdictions in this country, and they will pick up your license plate as you're driving somewhere. And they did that with Stephan Sterns, and they did that with his silver Lincoln, and they really traced his route the day that Maddie disappeared. And they lay that out in some of the new documents. They also lay out that there was a white Nissan that in the early morning hours after Maddie was reported missing took the same exact route, but left a different way from the apartment complex. It doesn't say who they believe was driving that vehicle, but they say that vehicle took the exact same route. So put your federal prosecutor hat on, Tim, for me for a minute.
And you're right, I Spy Crime. And you're asking a question, kind of, she lawyered up right away. They don't have to do anything. She didn't have to give any of her saliva, a swab. They didn't have to do anything after she lawyered up. She gave the one interview that the police said in the announcement that they made. I can't remember, the press conference they've given 2 press conferences. Both press conferences said the exact same thing, and it was just a little bit skewed. They both said nobody's been ruled out. And you're right, when Jennifer Soto lawyered up after she gave the one statement, that was it. Game over. You can't do anything. You can't get DNA swabs. You can't do anything. That is absolutely right. You nailed it.
Is it Stephan Sterns maybe taking the white Nissan to retrace his steps for some reason? Going to look for something, we don't know, in the middle of the night in the white Nissan because he had a flat tire in the Lincoln that day and maybe didn't want to take that car? Or could it have been Jenn Soto in that white Nissan?
We don't know. And Anjanette, you made a good point. We don't know if Jen's involved at all. She may not be involved. And we're not here to claim she's involved. We're just looking at a police report and comparing it to an email by a mom sent to her son who's facing the death penalty. The fact that other vehicle took the exact same route is not a coincidence. Now, the question is, who was driving the vehicle? Was Stephan driving it or was Jenn driving it? And if Jenn was driving it, how would she know to go the exact route? That is going to be curious. And you would hope that there was a camera or something that caught a glimpse of who was driving that vehicle. But it just opens to more questions, right? As a prosecutor and as a federal prosecutor, I would have my agents doing whatever they can find out who drove that second vehicle that route. How did they know to go that route? And what time did they go? Can we get the whereabouts of Stephan or Jenn during the time that other vehicle left? So you can separate, isolate who it could have been the driver, because that can be important.
In reading through these tablet messages with Stephan Sterns and this family member, Chris Sterns, it almost seems like he's resigned to being in jail. He knows he's going to be there a long time. He's come to terms with this. But he also talks about having a glimmer of hope, like all hope is not lost.
He does have a glimmer of hope. I feel like he has a glimmer of hope because he knows more than he's saying so far, or it's going to be a he said, she said. Okay, now we have 490 people in chat. Everybody's excited to catch a live on a Sunday. Do me a favor and just hit that like button for me so it can help you to get the notifications so that you can catch a live more often. Thank you. Just all you got to do is just hit it once and we'll be good. But yeah, this is a serious talk right here. And then we're going to get into his parents and their relationship and where Stephan Sterns is coming from.
Lost. Right. I'm not sure why he feels that way. We obviously, we see the discovery, but we don't know about his conversations with his attorneys. But he's facing serious sex crimes charges. I mean, they said there's more than 1,700 images of him engaging in sex acts with Maddie going back a couple of years at least. And then he faces the murder charge. And he's talking about giving away some of his trinkets and things like that. I mean, it is quite odd to read these messages. Just they're so mundane in some ways, but so serious in others.
Yeah, they talk about election voting, who can vote, what are you eligible to vote? When you're in prison and you got charges like this, the defendants will cling on to any hope they have, right? And as a defense lawyer, you have to at least give them a glimmer of hope. Or say, listen, let's go through the process. Let's see what the discovery. We might be able to file motions, because you don't want to come out and tell your client, by the way, you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison and maybe death at the very beginning of the case. That doesn't help them assist you. They don't trust you if you would say something like that. But at some point, your lawyers have to tell you how bad it is. I always tell my clients, and I tell my clients' family, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because you have to develop that trust and communication. Because if you're just placating them, no one wants a yes man for a lawyer. You want to hear, just like a doctor, don't tell me the good things. Tell me what I need to know that's bad so I can prepare for it. And it seems like his conversation just getting by and talking about other things other than he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. Although he's giving away things, which are important to him, it seems, that he's going to give them away because he knows he's never going to see him again.
Yeah, lots of talk about commissary, books, coffee, and candy. So that's his life right now.
That's the conversation they have. And phone privileges and commissary are the most important things to a defendant in
Every
jail.
prisoner, yeah.
And Jansen, we will keep a close eye on it. Maddie Soto is certainly not living the type of life that any young girl should be living. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate having two people that are being real, have real talk about a real thing that's going on. And I love that he broke it down. Tim Jansen broke it down two separate ways. And the two separate ways were, well, he said it could be just, a mom trying to be hopeful. But I believe the way that he was breaking it down was, or that she was breaking it down was the information that she received from his father that was there. That was the freaking there, guys, people, ladies, everybody. All right, I'll go right on to here. So I'm trying to steer away from this talk. It gets a little harsh on this, and you guys can go watch. Hold on. You guys can go watch his channel after. I have Strategic Eyes, and the reason I'm using his channel is because, well, I can go get the paperwork, but we're showing love back and forth. His video just came out this morning. I really want him to, even though he has, I don't even know. It doesn't even say how many subscribers right here. I know he has a ton of subscribers, but he rebranded his channel and he received the divorce paperwork from Plunder, which I could have done myself, but I want to show Strategic some love. Thank you, Ninjet, for the happy birthday week. It is the week finally. Us Leos, I've been celebrating for the whole month. So get ready for that, y'all. Get ready for the whole month. Every year, you guys got to be stuck with this Leo here that celebrates all month long. Okay, so now we're going over with, and I didn't get to say thank you, Clara. I didn't get to say your name, but thank you. And Ninjet, thank you. Okay, he got the documentation. We all get the documentation. We can all get the documentation from the same place, but I want to shout out to him. He shouted out to me. We're only going to play a portion of this with the paperwork. And then I've got a brand new body cam analyzing footage that just came out this morning, an hour ago. Even though you think it's the same, I thought it was, and it's not. But that's for the end because I want you to stay here. All right.
You're gonna bring this back to me. We can set this up. And I was gonna make a point, but I lost my train of talk. But I remember what the point I was gonna make now. This is important. Thank God I remembered it. This is important.
It's harsh. Trigger warning.
What Stephan Sterns did was very rare, and we got a new member, CBC. Welcome to the Strategic Guys fam.
CBC, what's up?
Thank you for
one of our members.
CBC. And Chrissy C gave a $1.99 super sticker. Thank you so much for that $1.99 super sticker. Thank you for extending yourself to the Strategic Guys show and showing us the love. We do appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if I hadn't already mentioned Strategic Eyes and you hadn't come from the show, he's been working with all we can say is New York Police Department, but he has been working that SA or CSA crimes for years. So he's a lot harsher than I am because that's his reality. But I know that the family and the advocates and many people watch my show. So I do not want to re-victimize these people. So I try to be the least harsh I can be. Now with other cases, I can be a lot harsher and say it exactly how it is. And you all know I tell it how it is. But I have to be gentle with this case in particularly because I do not want to re-victimize the family. And no one should ever. Twisted Quill, good evening, Jay. You rock. I heard you recommended so many times today. I'm proud to be a member. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's hear what he has to say. New York police officer, absolutely in the CSA unit for many years.
What Stephan Sterns did was rare, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Why was it rare? Because he did two of the most horrible crimes that one can do to a human being, to one person. every day, thousands of children are abused. It's very sad, but it's true. Every day, thousands of children are abused. Probably millions are abused around the world, physically and sexually. Every day, or millions around the world. In many cultures and societies, it's not even against the law. If you go to the Middle East and you go to India and places like that, it's perfectly fine for an 8-year-old.
Yeah, and trigger warning here. We're gonna watch this, and then it gets into the documentation, and he's right. This is horrible, but he's right.
12-year-old to be married off and to be expected to do wifely duties to their husband. It's expected of their mothers, their fathers. They'll look at you and say, "This is your duty. You're a female. You got married off. You know, your husband gave us 20 goats. It is what it is. The deal is done. Have a good life." I just read an article on Twitter of an 8-year-old who died during the honeymoon. Middle Eastern girl, married at 8 years old, died from internal injuries and internal bleeding because she's a baby, and her disgusting 50-something-year-old husband destroyed her from the insides out. And it's not a crime. He will find another young girl and pay 20 goats. And this is how horrible this is in this world. There's still cultures and societies where this stuff is acceptable. Okay, even though nature shows us that it's not acceptable because the outcomes are terrible. Children die when they're too young giving birth. Children die during intercourse. It's nature tells us that it's barbaric and it's inhuman, but people still do it because what? God gave us free will, right? So some people have the ability to ignore common sense and just keep engaging in criminality. And I don't care what your culture is. Nature shows you that it's wrong because the outcomes are bad. So if you're doing it, you're morally wrong to me, even though you may not have been raised to know that it's wrong. The fact that you know that you've seen girls that have died over these child marriages and you're still willing to do it, you're morally wrong. So whatever. The bottom line is, back to my, I'm sorry, I got lost in the sauce.
You're passionate,
back
sir.
to my original point. Children die. I mean, children get abused every day. Children get killed every day. But rarely do you get an abuser, an ex-abuser, who also kills their victim. And that is what Stephan Sterns did that makes him so diabolically special. He is diabolically special because he killed her. Not only did he abuse her, but he killed her. He is diabolically special. He is a
Satan Sterns is right, and we should hashtag Satan Sterns instead of his name. Absolutely. And Deborah, I love you. I don't know you, but I love you. This should be the narrative, and I appreciate you. I don't care who the father or the brother or the uncle or the aunt or the cousin. I love you. Deborah just said, I threatened my husband when my daughter was born. No man touches my kids. I love you. That's all I have to say. That's the whole narrative of my entire show. Period. Done. I don't give a who it is. Thank you. That was the best thing. Hashtag Satan Sterns. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. Oh, you're an angel. I love you.
He is the worst of the worst, and that is why we want to put him to death. That is why he is facing the death penalty. We're about to jump into the divorce papers. I'm going to throw that up behind me, but we want to definitely give a big shout out to Guilty of Crime, who is in the comment section. Thank you for coming through, Guilty of Crime. Let me see if I can find your comment here. You said, hello, Aki, and do some hand signs up, some gang signs up. I guess the announcement today is that Guilty of Crime is a Bloods gang member. Yes, they're a Bloods gang member. They're in the comment section throwing up some blood signs. Now, I'm just joking. Big shout out to the Guilty of Crime show. Excellent show. Awesome true crime channel. We got a lot of supporters who are who came from the Guilty of Crime channel to show this channel some love, and we do appreciate them. And we want all of we have in the last 3 weeks we have 5,000 new members. 5,000 not members, but subscribers. I wish we had 5,000 members for the channel. 5,000 subscribers. If just half of those subscribers will find their way over to the Guilty of Crime channel. We can get her up to a much higher subscriber rate. I don't know if she broke 20,000 yet. We could get her to at least 20,000 and help her channel grow, help take her to the next level. So I implore, these 5,000 new people who have joined the channel in the last, 2-3 weeks, please go over there and show some love to Guilty of Crime. She's got a great channel. You won't be disappointed. I don't recommend people that I don't like. I'm not fake. I don't fake the funk. If I recommend you, it's because I like you, and I think that she is worth the shot for you to listen and see what she has to say. All right. That being said, okay,
let's do the paperwork.
Let's get into this divorce paperwork here. So I took a gander of this, ladies and gentlemen, kind of perused through it, and the way it's set up, the way it's scanned in, big shout out to Plunder, by the way. I got this documents from Plunder.
Yeah, Plunder's puts that out there, and you can buy them. That's where I got my last DNA analysis from. Just go on to her channel and subscribe to her Patreon if you want the documents. I did promise some people the documents, but I'm not doing paperwork today, folks, so I will email them to you. Yeah, GHI. The unfortunate part is GHI has some exclusive interviews with the people that knew Stephan Sterns. I refuse to use those. I won't. And that's okay. We all have different preferences. All right, let's talk about Satan Sterns' parents here and their divorce and why. And the what his dad was into. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I paid for it, so technically I don't have to shout out Plunder, but I will because I'm a big fan of Plunder. I love Plunder. I love her channel, and I'm a big fan. And she gets a lot of good stuff. And we actually have done our first FOIL request on this channel for a very interesting case. And if it works out, I don't know how it works, but if it works out, I think I'll have a really interesting show for you guys in the coming weeks, depending on how long it takes for them to get me that FOIL. But Plunder had this. I paid for it on her Patreon. It's now my document. I own it because I paid for it. The document starts out with the attorney basically trying to be removed from the case because she basically ghosted the attorney, Deborah, and didn't want to pay the attorney. So we're going to skip and go down here. We'll come back and we'll review some of this stuff up here. Don't get me wrong. But the bottom is where we find her affidavit where she talks about why she wants a divorce. So let me find that document. And here we go.
Thank you.
Perfect. So this is basically like the crutch of the divorce, right? And remember, these people are so sleazy. This attorney did tons of work for her, $2,500 worth of work. And rather than pay the attorney what's owed, she ghosted the attorney. But let's keep going.
Damn, you hear that?
Attorney for petitioner, Superior Court of State of California, County of Orange, RE, the marriage of petitioner Deborah C. Sterns and respondent Christopher C. Sterns. Case number 95, David 012184. I, Deborah C. Sterns, declare, 1, I am the petitioner in the above entitled matter and am personally familiar with the facts set forth in this declaration, and if called as a witness,
sorry about that. I'm on mute right now. I won't pause too much, but because he's going to read through some of this, but the major points are that his parents are, and we already knew that his parents covered for him many times that they shouldn't have. Yeah, I was just for a second, Jax. Sorry, I muted myself. Stephan Sterns' parents covered for him many times. He could have been arrested. Things could have been stopped. He could have had a background. He could have been a registered offender, and he wasn't because they paid to get his way, to get him out of it. That was their only baby son. I don't know if it was their only, I don't know if he has brothers and sisters actually, but for some reason they baby him the most. And I can't miss, I repeated it. Thank you. So I don't want to interrupt too much, but the whole point of the document is to tell you how much of sleaze bags the parents are. And the narrative of the apple's not falling far from the tree with the dad and Stephan Sterns. And I don't give two craps at this point if Satan Sterns something did happen to him when he was younger. Maybe his dad did do something to him, but it doesn't give him a right to do what he did to Maddie. He could have got out. He could have got help. I don't know if he was victimized. I don't care about him at this point. At this point, it's hashtag Satan Sterns and hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. He has no excuse at this point. But let's listen about the parents, and who knows? Maybe Stephan Sterns, Satan Sterns, was watching these videos with his dad.
This could and would potently, what's wrong with me? Competently testified there too. The respondent and I were married on August 16, 1980, and separated on December 22nd, 1995. There was one child, the issue of our marriage. And some people are viewing it when she says the issue of our marriage as though Stephan Sterns was a problem in their marriage. No, this is legal speak, and it's basically saying the outcome of their marriage was one child, basically, right? So that's the legal speak
one
for
child,
saying,
folks.
hey, we have one kid together since our marriage. She's not saying that Stephan Sterns, the child, was a problem in their marriage, and that's the reason why they're getting a divorce. That's not what she's saying. I just want to clarify that because I've seen a couple of people harp over that language. So I hope I clarified it for you. Okay, so let's keep going. Stephan Sterns, born April 25th, 1986, presently 9 years old. This is a very, very delicate age right here, okay? This is the age where a lot of kids get traumatized from parents' divorces when they get divorced at this age, particularly that 7 to 10 years old. When they get divorced and the children are younger.
And remember, we're talking about an age where children particularly are traumatized by a divorce at 8 or 9, but Stephan Sterns was already doing this to Maddie by that age. So yes, Deborah Luna, Sterns and Soto, devils rot in prison. I'm with you. I'm always going to be with you. Even if for some odd reason they don't arrest Jenn Soto, I can't imagine in my mind why they wouldn't. They haven't ruled her out, and I feel like they're building a case. And from all the information that I hear, they are building a case. Hello, sent by Strategic Eyes, Crazy Lemon Tart. I love Crazy Lemon Tarts, and I'll throw you a gang sign that I was throwing in chat. All right, so poor Stephan Sterns was victimized by the divorce, so he decided to victimize Maddie at the same age. No compassion for Satan Sterns.
It doesn't affect them as much. When they're older, they're teenagers, doesn't affect them as much. It can, person to person, but this age is that uniform age where children understand things but don't truly comprehend the significance of them, and they're very reticent to change. Like, I can't live with daddy anymore. Yes. What? I got to move to grandma's house in California, huh? I'm leaving my friends. This is terrible. And that's when they start acting out. So let's keep going. The respondent and I resided in the state of Florida until approximately September 2nd, 1995, when our son and I returned to Yorba Linda, California to reside. I returned to California for the purpose of having surgery on both feet and physical therapy. Following surgery, it was my belief when I arrived that I would live here for approximately 1 year in order to sufficiently recover. Since that time, I've discovered that our marriage has ended, and as a result, I intend to continue to make Southern California permanent residence for my son and me. All right, so it's never a good idea when families are spending a lot of time away from each other. I think the relationship was probably ending long before that. That's why you have such high divorce rates in military families and stuff like that. The separation does not help. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't help. But there was something.
Now, another thing I want to say, plenty of abused kids choose the other route and help others, not destroy them. Now, another reason I'm very sensitive on this content, because there's a lot of people that reach out to me that have been abused. My mom, I wouldn't have said it if she wouldn't have said it on the channel. My mom was abused at a young age by her sister's husband. Every summer they would send my mom over to go help with the kids and clean, and my aunt's husband would abuse my mom every year for years, and my mom didn't say anything. I don't think she told her mom until like she was way older, and then my grandma passed away. So my mom was also abused, and so I'm really sensitive with saying that. And I know my mom watches this show, so I don't like to be too graphic and talk about that. We know there's abuse, but we don't have to be graphic about it. And a lot of people do have triggers that have been abused that do email me and they want to talk about it. It's like a therapy session. So there's another reason. So I try to be, when they start getting into, you know, and I do sometimes say things like, you say absolutely, some people never want to cause pain like that, and others want to hurt others, and that were hurt. He didn't have to hurt this little angel. And another thing is that Jenn Soto should have been protecting her in the way that my mom protected me. All right. What's up, Melly, my pretty Eddie?
Something else going on in this marriage during that time. The father was a salesman and he would travel a lot, ladies and gentlemen. And since he would travel a lot, he was never home. So even though I have my misgivings about Deborah Sterns, I do understand why, because a lot of people were also saying, why did she go to California to get surgery? Why isn't she just doing it in Florida? Well, I think there's a logical reason why she went to California where her parents live, because this man was never home. So if you have surgery and you need help because you can't walk, and you have a 9-year-old son who conceivably can't really help you do much. Maybe he could fetch you something to drink from the refrigerator, but he can't help you cook and he can't help carry you places or drive you places. You're going to go where you can actually get help, which is your parents' house, because your husband is never home. He's home for the weekend sometimes, but he's on the road, and we'll later learn that he had pretty much a brand new life with somebody else at that time. But let's keep going. Please hit that like button if you don't mind. Please hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right. The respondent I reside in, blah, blah, blah. Let's keep going. Okay. 4. On approximately December 14th, 1995, the respondent telephoned me and told me that he felt that we should separate because he was unhappy in the marriage. If a dude is trying to separate you during...
All right. He was unhappy in the marriage. And you're right. When they confiscated Stern's cell phone, he asked when he get it back, because his dad, he said, I don't remember him saying he was caring for his dad. I remember the caring part, but I remember saying that he was trying to get a hold of his dad. Maybe he did say he was caring. His dad was actually coming down to him to get him out of something, which we didn't know what the something was then. And then his dad was not so magically in town. He called him. The dad was there with Stephan Sterns and Jennifer Soto and heard more than we know. And that's where I think the mom got the information from, in my opinion.
For Christmas, you know he does not love you anymore, or she does not love you anymore. Because most people, they don't even do evictions. They don't even do evictions during Christmas time in any state. You are the most conservative or liberal state. If you're trying to start an eviction proceeding around Christmas, they postpone it till January. Or they'll give you the order and say your order's approved, but the person has to move out after January, in January. So he chose December 14th to say, I don't love you anymore. My nose is stuffy, I'm sorry. I asked him why at Christmas time he had decided to inform me that he wanted to end our marriage. It's a good question. The respondent indicated to me that he did not feel that there was any appropriate time to end the marriage. He's a douchebag. He is. She's a douchebag and he's a douchebag. They're both douchebags. 5, I discovered the respondent had been leading a double life, one part of which he has kept completely secret from me. I wonder how she found out. I discovered that the respondent had an ongoing relationship with a woman whom he refers to as Pooh. I have found notes and cards passed between the two of them, a book which was gifted to the respondent by Pooh entitled The Art of Sexual Ecstasy. References to a commemoration of the celebration of a 15th anniversary. He's been messing with this woman long before he even got with Stephan Sterns' mother. Before they was married, he was messing with this woman. Between the two of them, and interestingly, a necktie with a wedding design consisting of wedding cakes, wedding rings, etc. I do not know if the respondent and Pooh are supposedly married, and if so, if this marriage occurred prior to or subsequent to our marriage. Wow, that's deep. I would love to talk to this side chick lady. I'd love to talk to this side chick lady.
Me
so
too.
I went and looked up this book. Didn't have much information on like exactly what it is because it's an old book, but it's basically.
Now a lot of this stuff he starts getting into that and the word we call, he's going to just say it already, so PORN, but I don't like to say the word on here because it triggers. But we were typing in his chat, and he'll ask in a bit about it, but not only this book, but the dad was playing a lot of PORN with I don't know if he was taking care of himself. I don't know if he was letting his son watch it. I really don't know. But I do know that for some reason the parents came together every time Satan Sterns needed something, and they bailed him out knowing the bad, evil, diabolical things that he was doing. And I don't know if it was out of guilt or because it was their only son. But you're right, Marilyn McRae. The whole family is totally disturbed. I don't think Stephan Sterns' mom knew anything before the dad came. I think they could have thought it was a possibility that he was doing something to Maddie just because they knew that he was a weird guy and into little kids, etc. I believe that they knew he did weird things like that. Thank you, Clark, for sending me that. So listen to this, and maybe he was watching this and listening to this stuff early on and got fascinated. But also Stephan Sterns does act like a child. So I wonder if he's just attracted to children and there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't cure that.
Basically a tantric sexual book. So it's not about like wham, bam, thank you, man stuff. It's kind of like, sharing energy and taking it really slow and feeling each other's chakras and energy and stuff like that. It's definitely something you're not sharing with somebody who you're wham, bam, thank you, ma'am in. This is like passionate stuff. This is like taking it slow. You go to meet your paramour and you guys are together for like 5 hours before you even do the deed. So this is definitely something that somebody who's in love with somebody would send them. So this man literally had a second relationship on the side. He literally had a second wife. Now, they may not have literally been married, but there was a lot of emotions there. There's a lot of feelings there. It was deep. It was definitely deep. So I definitely agree with Sterns' mother on this. Based off of the evidence that she's presenting, she may be a bad person. Her attitude, her mentality.
Yeah, just if you just caught in, we're talking about the divorce. We talked earlier about some really good theories on the case. So Sarah, go back and watch that. The mom's filing for the divorce because the dad was basically a cheater the entire time. He lied to her, a liar, a cheater, and many other things. I'm sure the mom is not so good as well. She reached out to an attorney and just completely didn't pay. So I'm sure there are many times they did things like that. They probably bred those dogs. I bet you those dogs were inbred many times. I know shady breeders that do that. They'll breed dogs, and the mom is a dog breeder. So they'll breed dogs, and this is not a good practice to do. You breed them, and then the brothers and sisters comes, and then they breed with the brothers and sisters, which gets inbred dogs, and then the inbred dogs turn into a lot of times they have health problems or they attack people. That's what happens with pit bulls quite a bit. So I know I got off on another tangent, but I'm talking about the mom and what she probably did because it's the easiest thing to do.
Her mental illness may have driven this man to live in this double life. I don't know, but
that too.
She's right in the things that she's saying so far. Let's keep going.
That too.
6, moreover, In looking back through bank statements and canceled checks for the past approximately 1.5 years, I've discovered that the respondent has spent excessive amounts of money traveling, on average of $800 a month in monthly telephone bills, etc. In addition, I have found ads in his personal items advertising pornographic videos, dildos, etc. That lady was a freak. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that's bad to explore yourself sexually. That's Harlem speak. She's a freak. But she was definitely doing things that this guy was not doing. Got a big shout out to Guilty of Crime with a $5 super chat. She said, I tried gifting memberships, but here I am. Great content, and we will cover this content as well with Mr. Strategic. Awful parents made a demon son. That's a fact, man. Definitely. And yeah, always a pleasure to collaborate, but definitely, they made a demon son. Let's keep going. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. Let's keep going.
Satan Sterns, Demon Sterns, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, she's a freak. He's a freak. All of them are. Who knows how? I know that was what he said. LOL. He said that lady was a freak. That's what we call them in Harlem. And by the way, we just hit 555. Angel number. Say a prayer for Maddie in complete and utter justice would mean that Stephan Sterns and Jenn Soto are arrested and fully prosecuted for anything that they have done in their parts for the demise and the abuse of Madeline Soto. Okay? Thank you. Now we just hit 562, so don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Please, let's get that algorithm so we can have better content, more content, and people on here to do interviews with us.
So I believe that discovery may be extensive in order to determine if the respondent gifted this woman with our community assets. Now, maybe I'm from a different generation, but I always find it odd when some women have an issue with their man looking at pornography, etc. I think if you're an adult and you can process these things, then it's your business. But I do know that some women think that viewing pornography, and you guys, we have a very large female audience. You please educate me. I have my own opinions on stuff. I don't know you. I'm not your man, so you can't get offended. But I would like to hear from you guys. Do you feel that it's inappropriate for your loved one to watch pornography? Do you think that that's cheating if your loved one watches pornography from time to time, even though
he likes to
you're
say that
married
word.
or you're in a long?
See, he's the words he says just over. I like to just call it PORN. Hopefully they don't dox me for that, or not dox. That's a wrong word, but yeah. Anyway, that conversation is what he's saying is, do you think it's bad if your man watches it or watches it with you, whatever? What do you feel? There's people that are in different generations. I'm going to go a little bit forward. We already heard that like 3 times. So just curious. I want to hear more about them.
Work. I don't hate it. I like it. I enjoy it. I love being a contributing member of society. I like that my check comes into my bank account on a regular basis and I can pay my bills and I can own things and buy things. I like doing that. I don't like living on a fixed income where I could, have to watch what I eat because I'm getting disability checks and stuff like that. And the government is only sending me $1,200 a month, if that. That's crazy to me. Some people are okay with that. They're perfectly okay with that. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, we get it.
Where did we leave off? Number 9. As a result of the fact that I'm unable to work and the respondent is employed earning in excess of $60,000 per year, I guess that was a lot of money back in those days. I respectfully request that the court order the respondent to pay child support and spousal support to me according to guideline, and the fact that I believe that the respondent has the ability to pay. I further respectfully request that the court order that the respondent advance $4,000 in attorney fees and $1,000 in costs to enable me to maintain this action. I declare under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of California that the foregoing is true and correct. Executed this 17th day of January 1996 at Brea, California. Deborah C. Sterns declarant, signed by her. That is her signature. The one who made the beast. Wow. Okay.
Stephan Sterns.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We're over 300 likes now. Please hit that like button.
Yeah, guys, 582.
Subscribe to the channel.
Come
Please
on,
do.
y'all.
So now let's
Please.
go up to the top here, because we get that. They go to court.
I don't think so, Carlene. That's going to be interesting. But like I've always said, the puppet master is the one that's in charge. And the puppet master in that case has been Jennifer Soto the whole time. She had the daughter that Stephan Sterns was pining after. She had the condo that her daddy paid for. She had the SSI. She bought the groceries. Everything was in her hands. So I don't see how she was so tricked and manipulated, especially us knowing her roommate that used to live with them and told us how it is. Little Irish girl, I like it here, decided to stay. And thank you. These are not gang signs. You see my thing, it says I got soul. It says soul right there on my tattoos, by the way. But strategic, that's a gang sign. That means okay. So funny. So funny. Yeah, just hit the like button, y'all. Stern's father, no, didn't just file a divorce. They filed a divorce a long time ago. They're not together. So there's 583 people here. I don't know how many likes there are. Hit the like button and let's get in the algorithm so we can have more subscribers.
And
there's a little more of this, and then I got something special for you.
Stephan Sterns' father, Christopher Sterns, doesn't show up. He's a no-show. So when they go to court, she gets a summary judgment. I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. That's what I'm looking for right now. Superior Court. I think this is it right here. Okay. So this is, I think this is the summary judgment that she got because he refused to report. And I gotta tell you, people, if the courts reach out to you, go. Even if you're not.
I'm not really sure what that means, Jenny. That was in the last video. But unless it did and they didn't. No, we saw the info and the analyzing, and it was a bloody. I didn't say it was like one of those ones where someone gets shot 8 times and it's just everywhere. But it was bloody enough to have it on the neck areas and the hands and many other places that we don't know if they took the sheets, etc. So I'm not sure exactly what you're saying at the end of it, but I never painted it as this like bloody crazy like Al Pacino style. I just told you the facts in the case. But thank you for asking. Crazy lemon tart says my 20s I felt cheated on, in my 50s I could care less. Right. As you ease up, and sometimes you know what, you watch it with your partner and you're all good. So but however you feel is your opinion. That I don't think they were in a healthy relationship, and Stephan Sterns probably saw it. We don't know that they didn't have that. We haven't seen the crime scene being processed, and we didn't see any of that information. So I didn't say it was Al Pacino style, but there was enough blood in the paperwork that it was all over her neck, all over her hands, all over her private areas, and they changed her clothes. So we didn't say they don't. They all had to move out of the apartment. And the car was swabbed for every part. So what happens when it's bloody is it gets cleaned down. So anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Stephan Sterns' parents, but I did want to give you a little bit of attention.
Not prepared, even if you have an attorney, just by showing up, they'll give you more time. They'll explain to you what's going on. They'll give you more time.
Yeah,
it's not like a judgment is going to happen the first time you go to court. A lot of people just don't show up. They're like, paternity? I didn't have intercourse with that girl. I'm not showing up. You know how many guys are made the father of a child that is not their child? The mother knows that it's not their child. The father knows it's not his child. He just didn't show up. Like, yeah, I didn't even sleep with her. She lying. And then I'm not showing up to that court. And then they end up being by default the parent and have to pay child support because you didn't show up. Show up, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you could afford an attorney or not, just show up. Show up without an attorney. Say, hey, judge, I heard about this. I've shown up. I've done my part. I can't afford an attorney. I'm looking for an attorney. I need more time. And then they'll adjourn it and give you more time. Just do not just ignore it. That is what Christopher Sterns did. He ignored these proceedings. And what happened? Well, this is what happened. Got a summary judgment. So on March 25th, 1996, this matter come on regularly for hearing before the Honorable Judge Pro Tempore James Park at 9 a.m. in the Department 601 of the above referenced court. The petitioner was present in court, represented by her attorney of record, E. Jane Garland. This is the attorney that ends up getting swindled out of her money. Based on the petitioner's pleadings and offer of proof, wherefore it is ordered a judge.
Listen, folks, this is old, and it's weird because the parents are back together. He says he's going to his parents' house. This happened, if you look at this case number and the date, it's March 25th, 1996. So they were doing these proceedings when Stephan Sterns was 9, but obviously they're back together now, and they're just older, and they have the dogs, and they learn to live together. It doesn't mean the dad's not still cheating, etc. Little red 0. We don't have crime scene photos, but we have the documentation that shows that. So thank you. Go back to my DNA analysis video from yesterday or Friday.
As follows. 1, child custody and visitations. Those are the first thing that they deal with because it's the most important thing. I hope we can get to 400 views right now. We have 374 concurrent viewers. Please share this, guys. Take the time to share this with your friends and family. Let's get up to 400. And let's definitely make sure that we hit that like button when we're doing it. Okay, let's keep going.
Yes.
The parties shall have joint legal custody of the minor child, Stephan Michael Sterns, born April 25th, 1986, presently 9 years old of age, with sole physical custody to petitioners, subject to respondents' rights to visitation at times agreed to between the parties. 2, other orders. A, all other issues regarding child support, spousal support, attorney fees, costs shall be reserved, meaning they're going to do this at a different time. So basically, this order is saying, he didn't show up, so we're going to give you sole legal custody. But we're going to have to deal with child support later, because with child support, you got to get the person's income and all that. So you just don't choose a number. So they're going to have a different proceeding where they're going to do the child support. B, petitioners ordered that the show cause be continued to May 13th, 1996 at 9 a.m. at the court. And that's proof of service. It's proof that both parties were served, or at least an attempt was made for both parties to be served.
We don't know.
So I think this is the child support order right here. Stipulation of order to show cause. Let's see here if we could parse this out. I'm never good at reading people's handwriting, so I'm going to try. See if we can zoom in.
I could probably do that for him, but it basically just says respondent shall provide non-refundable round-trip airline tickets to petition Pride to all agreed upon visitation before the respondent and the part's minor child. In addition, child support, the respondent shall keep and maintain the petition and the minor child on health insurance. The parties shall equally share all they should share all uninsured medical, dental, orthodontics, vision, psychological, etc. costs. So that's all it's saying here is they stipulated to agree at $680 per month, and it's half on the 1st and half on the 15th, which a lot of people get paid. So that's what Deborah and Chris Sterns, the parents, agreed on. And I assume that the mom got custody because she was the one that filed for the petition. And that's what it just says. It just says respondent shall provide non-refundable round-trip air. So if one's living in California and the other one's living in wherever, it's kind of like what would have happened with should have happened with Jennifer Soto and Tyler Wallace. The person that filed or whoever the judge agreed on should have to pay for the airline tickets for the person that's leaving to have to go and visit. That's all it says. And then the other person has to keep the medical, dental, vision, etc. So I read past that for him. I'm really good at reading handwriting. All right. Custody fight over a
She
demon,
took him.
yes.
Remember, people, this is 1995 money. That's 1995 money. If that's money now, that's like $100,000 that he was making a year, and that's like $2,000-$3,000 that he was ordered to pay her. This was 1995, ladies and gentlemen. He decided it was cheaper to keep her. It's cheaper to keep her. So we're flipping through some of like the discovery stuff. Like
we're analyzing the divorce paperwork. I'm not analyzing GHI interviews. I'm only playing this for a certain portion of it, and then I'm hopping off to the next. I have some new footage same footage, new analyzing of Stephan Sterns, and it's interesting how he analyzes Jennifer Soto in this one. Just came out this morning. You probably haven't seen it yet, so I wanted to show it to you first after this, but we're almost done with this part.
You know, the assets, the money, etc.
Divorce was right.
And then we go here to another order. Let's see. This is a matter of regularly hearing child support. So this is actually where they actually lay down the child support. This is the order from the judge. Big shout out to Guilty of Crime. Another $5 super chat. Appreciate you. See, that's the difference between a successful YouTuber and a new YouTuber. See, I'm new. I could afford to give you like $2. She just gave us $10. We appreciate you. Guilty Crime says, my mom thinks you're so handsome. Also, who wants me to go live today and cover my theories on parents' emails and these evil parents? Put one in the chat. Well, go for it. If you wanted to go live, hit the one. But thank you so much. We appreciate you. Let's keep going.
Sue was there.
This matter came on regularly for hearing before the Honorable Judge Pro Tem, Judge Granny Ward Hardiman. In the above referenced court, petitioner was present in court and represented by her attorney of record, E. Jane Garland. Respondent was present in appearing in pro persona, meaning he didn't have an attorney. Based on the pleas submitted to the court and argument by counsel, wherefore it is ordered and adjourned as follows. So this is like the final one right here.
Is it in handwriting? Because do you need me to interpret that?
Sorry.
He is a gem.
Sorry, guys. All right. Child support. A, respondent shall pay to petitioner child support in amount of $774 per month, payable 1/2 on the 1st and 1/2 of the 15th. Commencing February 1st, 1996. Okay, so he was ordered to pay. I'm sorry, got distracted a little bit. He was ordered to pay $600 per month, and he was allowed to pay to break that out $300 pretty much every 2 weeks. So that's the first thing, right? Big shout out to JoJo for show. Love
JoJo.
Mama Pearl. I'll try to catch the live B-Day. Thank you so much. Shameless advertising right now, guys. I love you guys. But come on. Number two, additional child support for additional child support, respondent shall keep and maintain the petitioner and the minor child on health insurance. The party shall equally share all uninsured medical, dental, orthodontia, vision, psychological, etc. costs incurred on behalf of the minor child. So they're sharing that stuff. B, the above support amount is based on the respondent earning $5,281 gross monthly income as determined by the respondent's representative of the last 12 months. So it's pretty much what he's making. He's going to pay us up quarterly. The transfer. So I think this is basically like putting in writing the order that we saw before. Transportation costs, respondent shall provide non-refundable round trip airline tickets. So he's supposed to buy the airline tickets, the whole 9. He's supposed to buy all of that. Like basically all the costs were put on his shoulders. So let's keep going. What's up, sweetie pie?
His daughter walked in there. It's so cute. He has a good relationship. And when I saw him streaming this morning, I said, I could get those documents. They're like, you can get them for free. Someone's in chat says that, but I like to support Plunder and all the channels, so you can go get them for just $3. And I kind of broke it down, but I love his energy. And I just went on his channel. I woke up and I started watching something and I saw him on and I was like, all right, let's donate to his channel. And we collaborate all the time. Let's have him break it down with that energy. His energy is higher than mine. I talk a lot lower. He's just Brooklyn style. I'm California style. He's Brooklyn style. There's a difference. And yes, folks, he is an officer from New York. He's been in the CSA unit for a long time. So when he talks about things, he says the words, which could be triggering for some people. All right. And we want Jenn charged with anything she's guilty of as well.
My middle daughter is here, just hanging out. I love you. Okay. All right. So here's a withdrawal for attorney, and then we're almost done. And I want to go back to GHI. It's going to be a little bit of a long live, and I apologize for that.
No.
It's going to be a little bit of a long live.
So as soon as we're done with this, we're going to hop onto the body analyzing and showing you the difference between, and it's a new one. It's a new one that just came out now about 3 hours ago, which I know you probably haven't seen yet. And it's interesting. It talks about Stephan Sterns' body behavior in the body cam with, who is it? Well, we'll get to it. It's, Dr. G. He did one before. He just did another one, but he did it for Crime Fix. And it's interesting what he says about Jenn Soto. And I don't think I like it.
But I want to get thorough with this, all right, guys, because we're trying to figure out who the monster is, okay? We're trying to deep dive into how this monster was made, okay? All right? All right, so let's keep going. So the attorney wanted to withdrawal of an attorney is provided by statute. The attorney the attorney in an action of special proceeding may be changed at any time before or after judgment or final determination as follows. 2, upon the order of the court, upon the application of the either client or attorney, after a notice from one or the other. So let's see if we can, it just flips to another page. So I gotta be careful.
And just remember, this is September 29, 1997. All this was a long time ago. It's just giving us a background on the parents, what kind of people they are, the shady mom, the shady dad. We know he was just a big fat cheater the whole time, even before he met the parents. He was watching PORN the whole time. Stephan Sterns was probably watching it. I hate to say this, but I've seen it happen where dads think that it's cool to let their sons watch that stuff, and he started getting into way too young into things that he shouldn't have. He got an interest in it. He probably has done other acts with other children even when he was younger, and he probably maintained that level of wanting to liking and being attracted to young children. Monsters are not born, they're created. I agree with that. Sometimes there's nature versus nurture, but I still think that they're created. Something happens. There's many studies where, somebody gets hit in the head, like football players, or especially football players, where something snaps and that happens. And I'm talking about monsters being created. So this is mainly what we're talking about. This is not like a current document. It's just giving us a background, and we're almost done with this, so we can hop on to the next thing. Remember borderline personality Barbie. Here's the thing. They just barely, and thank you, there was 444. That's an angel number. Maddie, may you rest in peace. They just showed us the second car last week. So if they just showed us the second car and they haven't closed the investigation, they haven't ruled anyone out, we can't think that they're not going to charge Jennifer Soto yet. That's not even possible. Not even possible to think that way yet. My mom's visit was fantastic. That's why I've been quiet all weekend. And you say you think she was just selfish. Motherhood was not her thing. Well, we're going to find out, right? All right. We've got one more segment after this, so let's get through this.
Careful with that. All right. It is generally recognized that the failure or refusal of a client to pay or secure the proper fees or expenses of the attorney after being reasonably requested to do so will furnish grounds for the attorney to withdraw from the case. Let's go to the next one. Further, the court is this. Wait, I said so. That's one. I'm trying to figure out if this is the same. So this is the second document. Further, the court in Prince refers to Canon 44 of the American Bar Association, which recognizes that an attorney may be warranted in withdrawing from employment after notice to the client if the client deliberately disregards an agreement or obligation as to the fees or expenses. 3, conclusion. It is respectfully submitted that I be permitted to withdraw as an attorney of record for petitioner for the reasons set forth herein in accompanying declaration. So the rest of these are basically the attorney showing how they're trying to reach out to her and she's not responding. She's not, paying her. She's not taking phone calls. She's not answering letters, the whole nine. That's pretty much the rest of these legal filings and or evidence for the case, etc.
All right. And they're old documents again. We thank Mr. Strategic for breaking those down for us with his high energy. After this, he gets into GHI and he shows a lot of the Tamagotchis and the information that you can only get from GHI, which I'm not going to because I'm not interested in that man at all. Everybody has their preference. We love you, Strategic. If you don't know him, then go to his channel after and subscribe. He has he has New York energy and I have California energy. That's what I'm going to say. All right. So this just came out. When I saw it, it came out an hour. It had just come out an hour. Now I watched hold on. I had watched many things, and now I want you to see this. It's brand new. So now it's only been out 4 hours. And if you've been preoccupied with us, when I say us, I mean Mr. Strategic, myself, all the chat, everything going on, then you haven't seen this because it's brand new. Right now, it's shocking clues for Maddie's accused murder, and it's dissected by body language. But he does throw something in with Jenn Soto. And you guys, I want you to do that as well. I want you to put in chat when he starts saying that what you think, because I never like his opinion on this. I love you, Dr. G, but I completely disagree. I have Leo energy. I have California Leo energy. Definitely not close to Brooklyn or New York style.
Before we get started with this analysis, a couple of quick things. One, I wanted to make sure you know this is not a psychological evaluation of any kind. These,
yeah, we do know that. Okay.
Do they speak English?
Yes, this is mom.
This is mom. Okay. Hi there.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So.
All right, so we're gonna drop links for Dr. G and also our awesome true crime strategic. We'll drop them in the chat after. We'll drop them so you can go check it out after. All right.
Oh, my daughter was dropped off.
Now you'll notice the first thing that happened was that Jennifer Soto engaged with police, seemed somewhat eager to talk to them, whereas Stephan Sterns was turned away. Watch this part right here. I'll break it down.
Hi there.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So when somebody's concerned about how they're coming across, they're going to be putting a lot of thought into their behavior. Continue to watch this. You'll see the first thing he did, like I said, was turn away from police. First thing she did was engage.
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning.
And then he gets very fidgety with his body language. Looks like he first wants to put his hands in his pockets, then crosses his arms,
but never made
starts
it.
adjusting his hat. He seems unsettled because when somebody is trying to hide something, they're very aware of their body language. Oftentimes they want to come across a certain way. So he's trying to make sure that he comes across how he wants. It puts him in an anxious position. So drinking water, turning away.
And Dr. G is very careful to analyze people, but we know now that he's been charged. But look at Mrs. Potato Head and Mr. Potato Head. She's standing there like this, just like a deer in headlights. She knows there's body cam. She knows there's police. Pay attention to her body language as well, even though we know now, and there's some more clues in here that this, like I said, this just came out. She won't make eye contact. She doesn't talk about her daughter. She's not very upset. She throws the police off many times with much of the information. Keep that all in mind. And little O-Red, you're looking at the wrong documents. There's nothing about a crime scene. It's the DNA analysis that talks about the swabs of blood on Maddie's neck, on Maddie's hands, on Maddie's parts. It never says a crime scene. It's the DNA analysis. So I just want you to understand that. I see your comments, little red zero. And I think you're looking at the wrong ones.
Around, not sure how he wants to look.
Dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
There's 2 missing that day.
All right, so people are still on the team. Let's put that out in the hospital location. How long?
13.
So as you can see, Jennifer Soto's waving back and forth. There's a lot of stress and anxious energy. Now, there's the difference between that and something like what Stephan Sterns is showing, is that Stephan Sterns seems to be doing a lot of impression management. He seems to be concerned with how he appears, where she appears anxious. It's a little bit different. So if you watch my previous video about Jennifer Soto, I commented on the fact that there are times where her body language and her behavior seems a little odd, but she doesn't seem suspicious in a sense, at least not to me. I know a lot of people.
And a lot of people, Dr. G, that don't know her might say that as well. But I have one person that I could call on the phone right now who's CM, the roommate, and she says she's absolutely nervous for her life. She does look tweaked out. This is not her normal anxiety that CM would drive her and go check her in, help her go check in and get her meds, etc. That is not a woman that's anxious or anxiety for her daughter missing. It's for herself, and she's nervous as hell. And that's why she's lying to the police. She is lying to the cops in these videos.
Feel like she is. I personally don't, and I think that her behavior right now
because you don't know her,
natural for what you'd expect for a situation like this.
I'm trying to get that.
She's freaking out for herself.
Okay. So
one of the differences you're going to see with Stephan Sterns as he's standing right here, though, as she's waving back and forth, is he is standing remarkably still. As I said, he was a little fidgety before, but he is standing very, very still. He does a lot of this. And oftentimes we think of this as being potentially a way to hide.
He was supposed to be dropped off at school. Didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today.
Okay.
And
so as you may have noticed, she actually stepped towards police, and that's a way to engage emotionally. It's a way to connect. So she really does have information she wants the police to hear right now. She also raised her eyebrows up. That's another way for the police to focus on her face. Stephan Sterns, on the other hand, very well could be continuing whatever conversation he's having on the phone in order to remain as invisible as possible.
Dropped off at school. Didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here.
So as you can see, he's standing as still as possible, even awkwardly so, in order to avoid having to be asked questions or in order to avoid being noticed. Like I said, he's been a little fidgety at times, but I think when he's intentional about it, he really does try to be very still.
And I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that.
And as you can see, he put his head up, he sort of covers his face. He really does want to appear invisible right now, I think. He's got his arms crossed. Now, the crossing arms, this is a tough one because a lot of people cross their arms comfortably when they're talking. That's just a natural sort of behavior. But it can also indicate that somebody's closing themselves off. He's not necessarily doing that, but that's one of those that can have multiple interpretations.
Here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I
mean, we already know that he's charged. We're working on getting her charged. Diane McLeeman, these rotten potatoes need to be mashed. Arrest Jenn Soto. Give Maddie full justice she deserves. And in my heart of hearts, with the information that I have, that I've read, that I know, that I've heard, I absolutely believe that they are working on a solid case that they're going to seal the deal and they are going to arrest Jenn Soto. I do not see how she's going to get out of this. Now, we need to find out who that driver is. Why did it take so long? It just came out last week that there was a second car that was Jenn Soto's that she never said anybody ever that nobody could even drive. That is what she said. Oh, no, that's a work car. Nobody drives it, let alone Stephan Sterns driving it. So when that driver gets identified, we're going to know a little bit more. But I, in my heart of hearts, believe that they're going to arrest her, and it just takes a while. Like Mr. Strategics is the same thing. He's been in law enforcement for over 25 years, and that's how long it takes sometimes. His evidence, Stephan Sterns' evidence, was just handed to him on a silver platter, folks. He wouldn't be arrested either had his cell phone deleted those messages and they hadn't got tipped in that he had a flat tire across the street. Remember that.
So messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not.
And you can also see that Stephan Sterns is watching her, not looking at the police officer. So he's going to do what he can to avoid having attention focused on him. He's going to do everything he can to just try to blend in as much as he can in a situation like this.
At school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto.
Shut up.
Now,
Shut
one
up,
thing you may also be
Sterns.
noticing is that Jennifer Soto does this a lot. Now, I've talked about in other videos that when people withdraw their lips, it's oftentimes an attempt to not say something. However, she does this so much, it just seems to be a part of her baseline. That may be how she manages stress. That may just be part of how she processes stressful and anxiety-provoking situations. But it doesn't seem to be a pattern of when she's asked questions where she would have something to hide, that she withdraws her lips. That's when we pay more attention to it. To me, this just seems to be part of almost like when she was swaying back and forth. It seems to be an anxiety response more so than a response to what is being asked.
Name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto. Date of birth?
February 22nd, 2000.
Remember, up to this point, they're thinking that Stephan Sterns is her partner and Madeline Soto's stepdad. That way they can look away from both of them and not think anything and not focus on them. Thank you, Little Red O, for becoming a member. Little Red Zero for becoming a member. I appreciate that. You don't even have to go through the documentation. You can go back to my last video and I show you the documentation, and then you'll see what pages they're on, etc. So yeah, it's all there. Yeah, I think just Dr. G is coming from a perspective of not knowing the case and the ins and outs of it, or he would see it more like Deception Detective.
11.
Just had her 13th birthday.
13.
She just had her 13th birthday.
Madeline Soto, age 13. I'm trying to get a clothing description now.
See, like I said, with the lips, she was pressing them together just now, but I think that's more of a way to manage anxiety, not as much a response to what she's been asked about.
She last seen wearing.
Now watch Stephan Sterns' reaction when the officer is getting a message through his walkie-talkie.
What was she last seen wearing?
So did you see he almost looked startled? He wanted to hear what was being said. I think at this point, he's paying really close attention to what the police know. And so when there was something coming through that seemed to catch him off guard and he really wanted to listen, he stopped talking immediately. Whereas Jennifer Soto had essentially no reaction. Watch this one more time. It's pretty interesting.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
Watch this part right here. She corrects him.
Black pants.
Listen.
Black shorts.
Black shorts.
Black shorts. Okay. Black shorts.
Black shorts. She shuts him up. Look at her facial expression. She got that kind of look at if I'm doing that facial expression, just that's the end of it. She was wearing black shorts. Stephan, just be quiet. Stop. Now, we just read the documentation on Friday and they found a black pair of shorts in that room where either in her room or that little half, either number bedroom 4 where she sent them to sleep, or that half bedroom, they found black shorts. Now they must have gotten her, and I say they because I still think Jennifer Soto was involved somehow in carrying her out to the car, something. They found a pair of black shorts in one of the rooms. So she's very insistent and very like angry about him. Just be quiet. Let me do this. They had already concocted their story and did everything they were doing that day, but they wanted to keep their story straight. And Mickey Mouse there, we know he's been we already know he's been not convicted. I wish. We know that he's been arrested for this. Yes, and if you hit that like button, there's 617 people. I bring real content only. All right.
All right.
You'll notice how Stephan Sterns repeated black shorts as a question. In other words, deferring to her, saying that she, essentially implying she's the one that would know. So he's just trying to, once again, blend in with the background.
I think black shorts. Black shorts? Yeah.
Black shorts?
Okay. Oh, okay. Black shorts.
All right. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where
they don't know where they live. No.
I asked all of them.
Okay.
She asked all of them. All done.
Is this like, does she like have any places that you guys know that she would be?
End of story.
Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Not typically, no.
Not typically?
No.
Okay. Just give me, can you airdrop it to me?
Yeah, I know. Let me see which picture. I don't know which picture.
And you'll notice how far away Stephan Sterns is staying. He's not going to want to get any closer to the police than he has to. Once again, he's going to do his best as he can to blend into the background, but to still be participating as much as.
And Jen Soto knows that she needs to be as forward as she can, but she doesn't have any pictures from the birthday party because she wasn't invited and she wasn't at the party. So she's trying to pull something from Instagram that somebody posted right now is what she's doing. It's not even on her phone yet. And yes, Jay, the fighting of the shorts tells a lot since she was found wearing pants. And also when I read the list, the black shorts. Now, I don't know where they found the black shorts. All I was doing was reading a list of items of what they found. It never said that they found black shorts in there that I remember, but there were black shorts found. So when did she see the black shorts? Did they change her into that? How insistent was she? And right now she's looking for a picture on Instagram. She didn't even have one of her daughter from the party. And she gets irritated by that too when he says that. She's like, I wasn't at the party, remember? Just be quiet. She shuts him down.
To.
Probably from the birthday party, right?
Yeah, but I wasn't there, so I had to look at what's up.
Huh?
Once again, watching what she's doing. He's not going to look around. He's not going to try to engage with the police. He's not going to provide additional information. He's not going to do anything that he doesn't have to do.
No, she's in control. She's the puppet master.
By any chance, does she have a phone number or phone?
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay.
Now, if you look at Jennifer Soto's behavior so far, she's open, she's engaged, she's stepping towards the officer, she's looking.
And this is the opposite. She is not open and engaged. She's telling the same narrative that she's been telling, and she's just cutting it off. If I was talking to someone and I wanted them to stop talking to me and I wanted them to be quiet, I would say, nope, there's nothing on it. I checked the phone. That's the end of story. There was nothing bad on it. We're good. And I want to keep the phone. They ultimately took the phone and they ultimately have 4 phones. But heard Stephan Sterns, we know with the friends interviews, texted and called each other all day long, all the time. It was like a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. She even talks about having the phone and checking the deleted messages. After you delete your messages, they're not really deleted. So this analyzing of her, in my opinion, is very incorrect. She's shutting them down, end of story, but she wants to make sure the same narrative is told again and again. She's not open at all. She's completely shutting it down. That's
the officer in the eye. She's doing a lot of behaviors that we do tend to associate with someone who's telling the truth. So for as much as people are suspicious of her, there has not been any suspicious body language from her so far on this video.
How about, does she have like Apple Watch?
This is a new video, by the way, folks.
The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Now you'll notice Stephan Sterns in the background. He's doing whatever he can to stay distracted, to be naturally trying to interact with other people, but to not be engaged and to not be asked questions, doing whatever he can to try to not be the center of attention right here.
Oh, is that trackable? I don't think so.
It should be. If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to the Wi-Fi. So if I like circle here.
Well, does she know all the history of LA or anything? She just hanging out across time kind of?
Possibly. I don't know. She got dropped off. She was like,
So you're seeing her once again swaying back and forth, a distinct sign of anxiety.
Yeah.
She's also very open. She's using her hands to talk. She's engaging with people. There are not signs of hiding things or deception in this situation, at least not so far.
so she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
Again, she's telling that narrative because supposedly, and well, we've seen the videos now, she wasn't there. So she's taking Stephan Sterns' word and saying, oh, she didn't want to be dropped off. She wanted to be dropped off half a block. She didn't really say why. She can ask the grandma, but the grandma doesn't even want to talk to those people. She's keeping a distance. She called 911. Stephanie called 911. Jenn never called 911. Somebody got it wrong in a video the other day and said she called the third time. She never called 911 ever. She didn't want that 911 call to be in evidence because what she would say on the 911 call always is going to come out in court. So, yeah, she can ask the grandma about the house, but what is there to ask about the house?
Now look at how low his hands are. Now one hand is on his hip, so it's a sort of halfway committed attempt at being a little bit dominant, because oftentimes when people put their hands on their hips, it's an attempt to take up more space, to appear somewhat dominant. He's kind of halfway doing that. His hand moved up just a little bit when he's talking. It continues to be that awareness that he doesn't want to bring too much attention.
Oh, and if Dr. G didn't know, I forgot to say that one too. She didn't go to the birthday party. She didn't call 911. She didn't go to the funeral. She didn't go to the vigil, and she didn't go to the memorial. And she cremated her daughter so that nobody could go back and do any kind of testing or any kind of swabs any further. So there's 6 things, in my opinion, they should not have cremated her right away, because you can go back to a body later and say, oh, wow. Now look at how long, look at these scars. Look at these, look at the, you could see the tearing of, if somebody was to go back and do that, to go back and examine a body, they would probably find a lot more. So right away, she cremated her daughter. So there wasn't actually even a funeral. There was a funeral, but it wasn't a funeral with, no, she did not go to her family's side of the funeral. She never went to anything. She didn't go or show up to anything. I don't know if they were in the house and they lit a candle, but she didn't go to anything.
Attention to himself.
Dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
She's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block
Exactly.
away and drove away.
And see, he immediately looked away after he talked. He talked, disengaged, was trying to let her take points so that he can continue to blend in, as I said.
Okay. Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Okay.
You'll notice he's standing behind Jennifer Soto this whole time, so he probably feels a little bit more confident being that disengaged,
she's
having
a
her as a
puppet
buffer
master
between himself and the officer as he talks about this.
Over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning.
Okay.
What was the last thing you asked?
If she went to school,
So I got confirmation from the school.
No.
She never made it. They sent me an email saying she didn't make it. But I also spoke to her or emailed her teachers directly, and he looked at all her attendance.
You see, she keeps raising her eyebrows up. She wants people to listen to what she's saying. She is trying to
Of
provide
course she
information.
does.
So I know a lot of
No,
people are
she's
uncomfortable
not.
with the way that she's presented.
She's not providing information. She's providing a narrative. And maybe this, I don't know what Dr. G's seen or hasn't seen, but this is a narrative she's providing, and it is a scripted narrative at that. They say it over and over and over and over. It's a narrative that's scripted, and she doesn't want Stephan Sterns to mess it up. That's why she keeps shutting it down. He's the one that should be talking because he's the one that dropped her off that morning. She was sleeping, remember? And furthermore, Stephan Sterns was in wait. He lied in wait for Maddie to come home between 8:30 and 9 o'clock on the night of her birthday. She was with him for an hour and a half before Jennifer Soto even got home from work. And then she scooted them off to room number 4. So in this story, Jenn Soto wasn't even there. Why is she telling it?
I know a lot of people think that she's not telling the truth about these things, but a lot of her body language, once again, very consistent with somebody who is engaged, somebody who is, in fact, saying exactly how they feel.
When was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time?
Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off.
Now you'll notice there was that we. This has been a really big sticking point for a lot of people, where he said we dropped her off. And you'll notice that she doesn't disagree with that, although she has stated very plainly that she was not part of the drop-off, that she wasn't there for that. But it very well could be that Stephan Sterns has spoken in this way. He's using this language and that she is adopting it. She is just saying the same things that he's saying. But he definitely took point when that question was asked. Watch this part again right here.
No further information. 1064, 1946.
And when was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time?
Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off.
How tall is she?
5'1".
Weight?
110 pounds.
110, 112.
Hair color?
Blonde.
Why does he
You'll notice how
know?
comfortable he is providing factual information, height, weight, things like that. That doesn't seem to be a problem for him.
Hair color?
Blonde.
Blonde, like a 31.
Like a dirty.
So you notice right here, he's trying to provide additional information, clarifying information. This is something that people do oftentimes when they lie. They will provide information on non-threatening subjects. So right now, physical description, height, weight, all that kind of stuff, it's a non-threatening subject because these are facts.
Yeah, they probably did have to do one because of the nature of it. However, you can always go back and do other things. Medical examiners don't always do their job right the first time. And when you start getting further information, like they haven't charged Jenn Soto yet, but you can never go back to the body and get more information once it's cremated. So people that do that right away are suspicious as it is. Like within days, you find the body, that's it, it's done, you cremate them, it's over. You can never go back and check anything. So yeah, they did have to do that because of the nature of the offense. But now we have nothing to go back on ever.
And so in situations like this, he's going to provide additional information. It will make him seem like he is complying. It'll make it seem like he is really participating. When in all reality, he's providing facts that they could find out from a number of people.
Right?
Okay. Eye color?
Blue.
What she talks about her big
on her, like any scars or anything like that.
Distinctive beauty mark.
Now you'll notice how quickly he jumped in on that. When it comes once again to factual information, he wants to seem that he is really participating. So that he's taking his chance right now to jump in as much as he can.
On her face.
On her face.
On the face, like below the nose or near the nose?
Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know it if you saw it. Big.
It's big. It's like it bothers him. That bothers me every time I hear that, when he not only corrects Jennifer Soto about her weight. How the hell do you know that she's 112 pounds? Are you trying to keep her weight down so that you can have a child? You can keep her small, 110, 112, and then a beauty mark. And he says it's big, like he's disgusted by it. And Jenn Soto's just sitting there swaying away, letting him talk. Now,
but as you can see right now, she's anxious. He's hiding.
Yeah.
That's the body language we're seeing over and over again. She's rocking around. She's having a hard time standing still, whereas he wants to be as invisible as possible.
She's telling the narrative is what she's doing.
Like that, no.
Tattoo.
No.
You'd be surprised.
How are you laughing?
I'll put the top part
It's
out
not
and get
funny.
the rest of it.
I'm getting a random 407 number. Okay. Hello? Yes?
Now you'll notice as soon as she said she had a 407 number, he's using this as an opportunity to get away from the police officers, to face away, to be distracted.
Yes?
It is creepy.
Now
that
he gets
knows
very
that.
still when she says yes, because then it turns out this is not just some sort of random call, not a robocall. This is somebody that apparently is attempting to actually call Jennifer Soto.
Hi, Principal. I'm okay.
You see how
Now listen to her though. I don't know why Dr. G is not picking up on that. If you're sitting there freaking out that your daughter's gone, how in the hell are you gonna all of a sudden, oh yeah, hi, how are you doing? Oh yeah, I'm okay. My daughter's just missing and we're going over body, like what her body looks like, and possibly doing a search and beating the bushes for her. Okay, bye. Oh, now I'm really worried. Like, just like that, man. And not one thing is laughable about this situation. It's very cringe. Every time I hear it, and he's not picking up on this is what I don't understand in this one. This is a new one that Dr. G did for Crime Fix. I'm so confused by this one.
Still, he sat through that, maybe because he thought there was news and he's standing in front of police officers. That would be a very uncomfortable place to be. He's relieved once he finds out it's the principal, because he knows the principal didn't find her. It's just a follow-up, like a normal follow-up call. So watch his reaction after, and then we're going to talk about it.
How are you?
See that big breath in?
Yep.
I think he was probably holding his breath when the phone first rang, when he was watching her react, seeing that she was engaged with the phone call. He probably was afraid something bad was getting ready to happen, that he was maybe getting ready to get found out, that somebody had found the body, whatever it was, something was going on where he thought something was bad. Then as soon as it turned out it was the principal, because he knew there couldn't be any relevant news there, he takes a sigh of relief, because when you're sitting still, when you're not breathing, your blood is still pumping, your heart is pumping harder, and that's using up oxygen. So we have to take a big breath in afterward to sort of re-regulate ourselves to get back to baseline. Watch the sequence again. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I'm getting a random 407 number. Hello? Yes?
Hi.
Hi, Principal. I'm okay. How are you?
See, and it was almost the opposite of what most people would do in a situation like this. So when the phone first rang, somebody might pay a little bit of attention, and then when it hears that it's the principal, oh, I wonder if the principal's found her. I wonder whatever is going on. Something, there would be more engagement the opposite way. That's when most people would actually want to pay attention. I wonder why the principal's calling her. Whereas for him, I believe he knows the principal can't have any sort of relevant news, so he disengages at that time. He goes, okay, this is safe. This is just a conversation that she can go have. It's going to have no bearing on me. I can relax again.
No, police officers here right now.
Yes, they're getting the
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find her
paperwork.
So we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Hopefully this is helping you better understand some of the behavior and body language that we saw. Now, obviously, from what I'm saying, Stephan Sterns appears to be trying to hide this night. He appears to be trying to not be seen.
Of course, we
Seems
know
that he is trying to
is.
obscure his body language, and it seems that as much as he can, outside of factual information, he doesn't really want to engage with police officers. Jennifer Soto seems more engaged. She seems open. She seems connected. She seems
That's
very anxious,
another thing.
but she doesn't seem that she's trying to hide anything. She also doesn't appear to be showing any fake body language, because sometimes we see people fake crying. We see them upset in dramatic ways. We didn't see anything like that tonight. Obviously, she seems concerned and anxious, but she does not show any body language of somebody who's being deceptive. And I think that that's really important. If you have any thoughts.
That's interesting. This is one of the ones that I do not agree with. Dr. G, we love you to death. And a lot of times we use your analyzing skills, for purposes of our cases. But on this one, I will have to disagree with you on that one. I wonder how big he was before his skin. And thank you, Mary Elizabeth Butler. We love you. I hope that you come back. I'm glad you are here. I hope you subscribe so you get the notifications. Yeah, definitely shocked me on this one. She fake cries in the next interview the next night, but then she also stops right away, folks. You got to remember that. She cries and then automatically it goes away. So there are a lot of things that don't jive. And all right, y'all. Somebody's knocking at the door, and my daughter cannot answer it, obviously. Marissa Fontaine, thank you for keeping us informed, Jay. I love you, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to hit that like button. We have 649 people in chat. If you like the content that I'm putting out, you like the interviews that I'm doing, and you like the love that I'm spreading on the channel for all content creators, hit that like button so we can all be together. We all want to do this together, because the more people that we have involved, the better, and the more we're going to get things solved. On that note, I love seeing you guys on a Sunday. Thank you all for being here. And remember, if you're guilty of crime, you're going to end up on my show. So don't be. And I always ask, did you get caught? Are you guilty of crime? Or did you not get caught? See you all later. I love you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you Guilty.